Welcome to Rooted in Faith. I'm Kelly Berry. Grow with me on this spiritual journey to becoming the women God created each of us to be. Today I'm going to show you how to make this fun and functional Bible tassel. Please join me as we make this beautiful Bible tassel for our Bibles. Here are the supplies we'll need for this project. I've recently been reading through the Bible recap, and when you read through the Bible recap, a lot of times you're reading in different books of the Bible. And so right now I'm a little behind on the Bible recap, but I'm reading in First Kings and Second Chronicles, and I had a couple of pieces of paper stuck in here as bookmarks, and I even still have another bookmark tucked into the bag. But my daughter asked me if I'd like to make a Bible tassel, and I said, oh, what's a Bible tassel? Well, a Bible tassel is like a Bible bookmark. And I said, oh, sure, because I love doing anything crafty. And she showed me hers, and it had one string. Well, when I realized, oh, that's a great idea, and I love the decorative aspect on the outside of the Bible, make it even more fun to read the Bible, I decided to add two to mine, two strings. So I have First Kings marked, and I also have Second Chronicles marked, and so it's easy to flip back and forth through them. Well, my Bible already has a bookmark in it, and so usually you'll either be reading in Psalms or Proverbs, and so I have the next Psalms marked also. So it's kind of nice to have a bookmark that's not just going to easily fall out, and I thought it would be really fun to demonstrate how to do this with some yarn and some fun things. I love to crochet, so I've got lots of different types of fibers. You can also go to Hobby Lobby, and Hobby Lobby is selling these bundles of different yarns and trims and laces in one package, so all the colors coordinate. So this one was really simple and fun to do, and then I just ordered some, or bought some wooden beads, and then they have at Hobby Lobby beads that come on a card. Let me see, like these. And so these little spacers came out of a set of beads that I think were pearls. And so let me show you how to do this. So I went into Hobby Lobby this week, and they had yarns on sale, and they had ribbons on sale. And this is when I got the Yarn Bee Cotton XXL Black. Usually sells for $4.99. I got it for $1.24, but it's a big chunky yarn, so any soft chunky yarn would be good. I also had in my stash some of these fuzzy yarns. They're kind of, I think it's called an eyelash yarn. I had some knobby yarn that I just rolled up into a cake, so you can use different kinds of yarn for fun texture. I had some fuzzy yarn. This is the Fun Fur Prints from Lion Brand, and that's like the eyelash yarn. So I have the pink and the purple in that, and I found this wonderful mixed fiber yarn that has lots of colors, and that's where I'm drawing my inspiration from. It has black and gold and purples and pinks, and so this is a really fun one to pull from and then get all the other coordinating colors to go with it. I also have this yarn. This is kind of a fuzzy, shiny pink that goes really nicely with that. So you can see that all of these colors sort of go together, and they draw out the other colors that are in our main one. So if you've ever made pom-poms, you wrap them around a card. Well, I decided to use a book to wrap mine around, and this is a nice firm cover book, and it's a great devotional. It's called Devotions for a Well-Tended Heart. And it has some pictures of flowers in here and some scriptures talking about knowing Christ. And then John 12:20-21, sir, we want to meet Jesus. And tells you about the cosmos. They are agreeable, unfuzzy plants that grow in less than ideal soil. Their orange, pink, or white blooms resemble colorful daisies. So this book was comes from Living Expressions collection. It was $9.99. Anyway, I'm going to use this to make my tassel. So let's start lining up the fibers. A strand of the pink, a strand of the fuzzy gray. Start adding some of the eyelash, all the different yarns that I showed you. We're just going to lay these out and kind of get the ends even so that when we wrap them around the book, it'll kind of be easy to hold the bottom. So altogether, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 strands. And so if I measured around this one strand and it was 13 inches, so about 6 inches, 6 inches, and then a quarter on each end. I'm going to wrap this about 7 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to cut it at the bottom. And then I'm going to take a strand of the pink, and about 12 inches long. You don't have to exactly measure that, but I'm going to cut this at the bottom where we started, where the end is. I'm going to cut this. And I don't have to worry about cutting the pages of the book because there's kind of been the pages are recessed, so they don't come to the edge of the cardboard. Ooh, I didn't think this was going to be so hard to cut. And then I'm going to lay my strand down to tie it about halfway, and you can pick this up and kind of bend to make sure it's even. That's pretty even. So now we're going to tie it twice, tie it again. So pretty. And then I'm going to shake it down, and there we go. So now what we want is a piece that we can make this knob at the top for decorative purposes. So I'm going to cut another string of this pretty pink ribbon and tie it. And it comes down about 1 inch from the top. Okay, and now we want some pretty beads to put at the top. So this strand came from Hobby Lobby, and it has lots of pretty colors. And so I just thought maybe 2 of them on this part, and then maybe this could dangle down the side. So we'll see how that looks. Really pretty. One of the things that I like to use for my to get the beads onto the yarn is a crewel embroidery needle number 20. It has a big enough eye to get the yarn in there, but it is a thin enough needle to be able to go through the beads. This one has a nice large hole, but sometimes the holes are smaller, more like this one. So we are going to fold this over, pinch it, line up the eye of the needle, and just run that through. And then I'm going to do the other one as well. So, and it helps if they're the same length, so I might just trim that off. Okay, so we'll put this pretty decorative purple. It pulls out the sparkles in the yarn. And then I'll add this larger bead. And it's nice that these beads are matched already, and they have some different textures, different colors, shades of the same color, and the spacers. So you don't have to think very hard about picking them out. You don't have to buy a bunch of different beads to get started. And that's pretty. And then we'll add this one to the top. So after spending a couple seconds trying to get this bead on, I changed my mind and pulled it off because the hole is just too small. So we're going to use this bigger bead because it has a great hole on both ends, a good size, and thread that on. And then I'm going to put this spacer on next. And finally, I'll add this one. I think they look really pretty. And the smaller one, we're going to add to the top. Now, I'm just going to tie this to make sure they don't slide off until I can add my bookmarks. On this one of these shorter pieces where I tied the around to make the ball at the top, I'm going to use my crewel embroidery needle to thread that yarn and add some dangly beads for decoration. Maybe I won't use that one, and I'll just use this one instead. Yes, that looks pretty. I like adding the silver beads because they add some sparkle to it. And here's one that we can tie on the end. I don't know if this needle will go through here or not, but we'll try it. Yes, it does. Okay, so now I can knot this on the end. I think it looks really pretty so far. All right, now to make the tassels, you kind of need your Bible to know how long your tassels are going to need to be. And I've done the off-white color one already. And so I know that for my smaller Bible, which is, let's see, about 7.5 inches, I cut my string about 40 inches. And so I have the A Woman After God's Own Heart Bible. And I think the colors of this tassel with the pinks and the blacks will be really beautiful with this Bible. Let me show you and we'll measure it. So it's a little bit bigger than the one I previously made. So that's about 9.5 inches. So I will cut my string, I think about 60 inches to make sure that I have plenty of yarn. So 7 inches times, and that was about 40, so 6 times it. So 9 times 6 would be 54. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it 60 inches. So the reason you want to cut it 60 inches is because I like to make my own rope, and I'll show you how to do that out of whatever kind of cord you have. This is just yarn. You match the cut ends, and then you run your fingers up to find the end, and then you just start twisting it. A long time ago, I used to make knitted and crocheted baby sweaters for my daughters, and this was a great way to make the strings that would tie the sweater closed. But I always thought this was such a cool idea. And so if you twist it and you twist it and you twist it and you twist it really tight, then when you let go of it, it curls back on itself. And as it gets twisting, I just slide my left hand down and let the twist continue down the yarn like it's twisting the two strands together. And it's good to do it until it's really tight, because then it makes a really tight braided cord. Okay, so once you get that done, then you want to bring the two ends together and you want to straighten this out, and then you sort of curl it. I don't think it matters which way, but I usually end up curling it the opposite way that I twisted together. And it wants to curl, and then you just keep running your fingers down it until you get it even. And I think it makes a really pretty braid. And if we want it to be even tighter, you can take it back apart without letting go of the ends, and you can continue to twist it. And then you match the ends again, and then you pull this out and you, with the other end, we want the ends to lay smooth, because we're going to keep this end in my left hand and we're going to cut the end in my right hand. So I think that's a really pretty knobby, soft braid that matches exactly, because it's the same fibers that we used here. And then I can slide my finger out and we'll make one more, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. So I've taken my crewel embroidery needle and threaded the end of the tassel through on one side, and now I'm going to take these cords that we made and I'm going to run my needle through the end of the loop on both of them, because I'm going to have 2 bookmarks on this tassel. You could add 3 or just do 1. Okay, and then I'm going to tie those cords onto my tassel. And it doesn't really matter how you tie them. And then I'm going to cut them. And I'm going to kind of burn them to melt them together, to melt the ends, so hopefully they don't unravel. I'm going to create a knot out of these cords that will cover that edge, that raw edge. So hopefully it'll keep it from coming undone. And I'm just going to, the ends of them, put them together, wrap them around my finger, and draw them through the hole. And then I'm going to ease this knot down over those ends to kind of hide and secure them. And there we go. So now we're going to finish off these ends that are going to be the bottom of the bookmarks. So here's my Bible, and we measured it earlier. It's about 9.5 inches tall. And I want these bookmarks, these tassels, these cords, to fit nice and securely in here. See, I'm using little pieces of paper to mark my pages. So I'm gonna line this up just like that. And so when I stand up the Bible, like I would carry it, you'll see that these just kind of hang down. And there's the little knot. And then I'm going to look down here at the bottom, and I'm just going to kind of hold my finger there where the end of the book is. I'm going to open up the page, and then I'm going to hold my finger there, and I'm going to knot this over it. And it's better to be a little bit short because the string is kind of stretchy. Just a good overhand knot, and then I'm going to do that again to make a nice size knot here at the bottom. And you just want to make sure they line up. And I'm going to do that one more time to make a nice bulky knot at the bottom. And there it is. So I can cut this off. I like to leave a little fringe on the bottom. And then I got this comb at the Dollar Tree, and I like to brush the ends of my yarn because it makes it look fun and fringy. And then I'm going to do the other cord the same length. So you can lay them there side by side. Here's the end where I want it to stop. I'm going to tie a knot, and I'm just going to knot it like 3 times to give a good bulky knot there to catch at the bottom of my book, my Bible. And you could use this in any kind of book, but I think it's really nice to match your Bible with a bookmark. And then I'm going to trim that off, And then I'm going to use my comb to make it a fuzzy little tassel on the end. Kind of matches the fun feel of the tassel itself. And that is trash. And now I have this beautiful tassel bookmark. And I can mark here in 1 Samuel. And I could mark back here in Chronicles. And both of my tassels are hanging out the bottom. And I have this beautiful, fun tassel to carry around with my Bible. And it will lay right on the top, and that's how I usually lay it on my nightstand or on my end table. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you'll make one too.